You've been here before. You watch every tutorial video on YouTube. You hype yourself up watching Bolo flick heads in slow motion thinking, yeah, I'm about to go and play like that. Then you load into a game and do the exact same thing you always do. The same bad habits, the same mistakes. You were making them a year ago and you're still making them now. Then you sit there wondering, why am I still bad at Siege? This video is going to tell you exactly why you're terrible at Siege and why you're not improving. But first, let's talk about why this happens. The psychology of not improving is super important to understand. Watching self-improvement videos gives your brain a dopamine hit. It tricks you into feeling like you've improved even if you haven't applied a single thing. You think you understand the game better, so you assume you'll play better. But when you actually go play, your brain defaults back to comfort. You go back to your bad habits because they're automatic. They're wired into your muscle memory. And the only way to fix them is by forcing yourself to change. And that's exactly what we're going to do right now, by exposing the biggest reasons you are still trash at Siege. First, you play the same operator every game, even when it's a terrible pick. You lock in Doc, Rook, or even Cav every single game like it's a personality trait. You don't care about the map, you don't care about the enemy team's playstyle, you just autopilot pick your favorite operator because it's comfortable. But Siege isn't a game where you just do what you want. If you play the same operator no matter what, you're missing the entire point of strategy. The best players can play any operator because they understand how to adapt. Having the right op lineup can win rounds before the first shot is even fired from your gun. Number 2, you try to be the hero every single round. Every time you play, you think to yourself, I got this, I'll just clutch. But the reality is you're throwing the game for your team. You take unnecessary gunfights when you don't have to. You full swing people at the wrong times instead of holding angles, and you get 1 or 2 kills and instantly overheat, pushing for more and more, and then you die. Rainbow Six Siege is a game that rewards patience. It rewards the ability to recognize when a fight isn't worth it. Instead of trying to be LeBron James every game, play like a survivor. Stay alive longer and you'll find that rounds start going in your favor way more often. Which brings me to my next point. You die first every round and then blame your teammates for not winning. You run into the same crossfires, you take the same early fights, lose, and then immediately flip to spectator mode and start complaining. Why are you guys so bad? Why is nobody else getting kills? How did you guys lose that? No, why are you dying first every round? If you always die first, you are literally the weakest link on your team. Your first priority should always be survival. The longer you stay alive, the more impact you can have. When you're dead, you can't contribute to gunfights, so stop complaining. You also waste utility or just don't use it at all. You guys know those people who throw all their smokes in the first 30 seconds of the round. Or the guy who has grenades but never uses them? Yeah, that's you. Siege is about utility before gunfights. Good players use their utility to create advantages. They don't just burn through them without a plan. If your utility isn't forcing the enemy into a worse position, then it's being wasted. You need to start seeing your utility as your main weapon. Your gun is just the finishing tool. Your utility is what actually wins you the rounds. Next up, you guys take fights at the worst possible time. Your teammate is planting, and what do? Instead of covering him, you peek a random doorway, die, and leave the bomb planter exposed. And this only happens because you have zero patience. You think to yourself you have to make a play when the best play is often holding an angle and waiting for the enemy to do something. Fight should always be taken on your terms. When you take an unnecessary gunfight, you're giving your opponent control over the engagement. Instead, force them to fight you on your terms. Set up crossfires, play off their movement, and punish them when they make mistakes. But don't get it twisted. If you and your teammate are watching the same doorway, then you're doing it wrong. Good teams set up crossfires. One player watches the angle and the other player plays off of their contact. That way, when an enemy pushes, they die no matter which way they look. If you always play alone or you make these solo plays, you're making the game harder for yourself. Siege is a team game. When 2 people set up a crossfire and hold angles together, the enemy literally cannot win. And here's another thing I see a lot in lower ranks. You guys run out of time on attacks so often. You spend 2 minutes doing absolutely nothing, then suddenly there's 30 seconds left and your entire team panics and rushes site. Siege is definitely a time management game. The best attackers always have a plan. They take control of key areas early and force defenders into bad positions before it's too late. If you're always rushing in the last 20 seconds, it's not a strategy issue, it's a discipline issue. You need to be quicker, more decisive, and more aggressive earlier in the round. And here's probably the biggest reason a lot of players are trash at this game. They don't understand sound or ignore them like an idiot. You just heard someone reload behind a wall, but you didn't react. You heard a guy sprinting up metal stairs and you still weren't ready. You're literally not listening. Sound is a weapon in Siege. If you use it properly, you can win fights without ever seeing your enemy first. But if you ignore sound, you're literally choosing to play blind. You need to train yourself to process audio cues a lot faster. Every single sound in this game tells you something important. If you can recognize the difference between an enemy walking on carpet or brick or on the roof, then you can make huge improvements in your gunfights. The difference between an average player and a great player is one who acts on that information first. And the ultimate reason why most of you guys are horrible at this game is that you never learn from your mistakes. I could preach this in every single video and I'll still see people wondering why they're not good. If you keep dying to the same angle, then why are you still peeking it? If you know you sprint too much, then why are you still sprinting? The best players in the world are the best not because they don't make mistakes, but because they self-correct quickly. They review their gameplay. They actively change how they play. You're you're just doing the same thing over and over and expecting magically to get better. And it just doesn't work like that. If any of these points resonated with you, then that's good. That means you're finally realizing what's holding you back. Now, the question is, are you actually going to change? Or are you just going to nod your head, agree with this video, and then keep playing the same exact way? The choice is all yours. If this helped you in any way, like this video and subscribe to my channel. Let me know down in the comments anything that I might have missed, and make sure you guys hit that notification bell to stay updated on my videos. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.